Susan Walls, thank you very much for coming back. We were supposed to have spoken to you on the show last Friday, but as we're live television, life happens, and we could not get to talking to you. But the reality today, just broadly, is that I'm sure there must be increasing claims with load shedding. That's been with us for some time now, because, you know, appliances, you're not at home, you are away, or you're sleeping at night, load shedding schedules are at all kinds of hours, power comes back, there's a surge, and boom, the fridge goes, the TV goes, the computer goes. I'm sure there's been an increase in short-term claims. Has there been?
Yes, there would definitely have been an increase in short-term claims, but the insurers are well equipped to deal with these increases. You think of the catastrophes that they are able to deal with, you know, the floods last year and everything like that. So they are well equipped to deal with these kind of claims. But it's very disruptive to the consumer and costly.
Yeah.
So,
and there are several areas besides household insurance that can be affected. I'm thinking of traffic lights not working, and you're coming around the corner and you are, you know, there can be an accident.
That's right. There's more than just household equipment. Your lights in the streets at night when it becomes dark.
Safety issues.
Safety issues, your own safety issues, battery backups for alarms, those kind of things.
So burglaries.
Absolutely.
There's also can be that kind of, of consequence. But just at a high level first, overall, whose responsibility is it to know what you are covered for? I mean, if you look at any short-term insurance policy, it's got so many clauses. And I must confess that many of us, including me, we don't read the fine print.
Sure. So, Dan, what there is you have your policy wording, which is the actual document with all the fine detail in it. However, you also do have your schedule. Your schedule specifically states that your address, where the goods are covered, what type of vehicle it is, and it gives you high level of what is covered.
So it's important to read that high-level schedule.
It is very important to have a look at the schedule and at the policy wording. But one of the most important things is to talk to your broker or your insurer and to discover there are different levels of cover with regards to power surge. So, you know, if you go and buy a car, you could go buy a Polo or you can buy a Ferrari, you know, and the cost is going to be according to whatever you purchase. And some policies will cover power surge up to a certain limit, others will cover in total, and others might not cover it at all.
So short-term insurers do cover for power surges,
yes,
but it will be up to you to ask the insurer via that advisor you're using, or if it's a direct policy purchase, ask the insurer himself what power surge stuff is covered.
Yes, and definitely. And also if there are any concerns when you have a claim, and you do still have concerns, all the insurers do have their claims resolution processes in place, so contact them. You also then have the...
Will that include the ombuds?
The ombuds would come, that is internal within the insurer.
Okay.
And then if you don't have any resolution there, then you can go to the ombud.
So find out internally, if you're not satisfied, who else to talk to.
That's correct, yeah.
And then if all else fails, you go to the ombuds. I mean, how else can you protect yourself from this kind of damages?
Yeah, it's important to just take care of your goods, you know. Make sure you've got the battery backup, like we said. If you
is that for the alarm at
alarms
in the house? Yes.
Or electric fences and things like that. I mean, a starting point is also always unplug devices if you're not sure. You know, we have schedules saying that when we have load shedding, I know we have a lot of power outages, but, you know, when it is load shedding as such, we're notified of when it's going to be. Well,
yeah, and Eskom, I must be fair to them, because I've seen on their Twitter timeline at least,
yes,
they will say here, even City Power here in Johannesburg,
yes,
they will say, oh, these are the kind of things you need to be aware that you can do for yourself during a load shedding to avoid a power surge problem.
So other than unplugging items, you can also install surge protectors. That's a very important part. You can get those, are freely available at most stores, you know, like your builders and wherever. And just switch off, unplug, and just be aware.
Yeah, but nothing is cheap. I mean, I'm just thinking, if you bought a house recently, you might not know when it was built. I mean, there's many new buildings, but some houses are old. I mean, the wiring might be old. I mean, is it up to you as a homeowner to make sure that your electrical wiring around the house is safe, is new,
yes, it is.
Is modernized?
So if you think about it, if you buy a house now, you have to have electrical compliance certificate. So it should be. But just make sure. A lot of people still live in those old houses that were built, however, and they might not have an electrical compliance certificate because they moved in before that came into play. So it's important. Check your wiring. Don't overload. I mean, that's a big thing.
What do you mean, don't overload?
Overload in your plugging your electrical devices into your extension cords and
putting everything in the connectivity.
That's a big problem. Yeah. So that can easily create issues when regards to power comes back on.
Do insurers create enough? Short-term insurers create enough awareness of all of this that we are talking about? Besides ensuring that when you come to the claim stage, it's successful. Just the key things that you can do. You think insurers are doing enough from an industry body perspective? So
we're regulated and we have to keep people abreast of what's happening. A couple of years ago, we were made to have policy wordings in plain, simple English.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Simplicity.
Yes,
yeah?
Simplicity. And that's the...
Is that happening?
It is happening. And the wording has to be. So it is. The reading is simple. It's not difficult to understand. But wherever you're unsure, then please contact your insurer and ask them, or the broker, and they will be able to advise you accordingly.
Yeah, okay, that's simplifying the language. But what about making sure that the key aspect of what is in the fine print is standing up front, so that it's highlighted, like in a summary, like, here's your policy, be aware that if there's a power surge, you're covered. If there's a power surge, you're not covered.
So you have your policy wording, but you also have a schedule which states a summary of the cover that's provided. But you must understand that insurance covers a lot of things. They can't identify each individual situation. So there are many insurers who will state right on the front page a summary of things. Others might at the back of the schedule or in the middle, in your household contents section, they might specifically state there. So they will have the exclusions specifically stated. So if it is specifically excluded, it will be stated in the wording.
So you need to familiarize yourself with the schedule, which is described as a summary. From a simplification of the language, do you believe as an industry that they are doing enough, they've done more? You said they are regulated like that,
yes.
But have they done enough to really make it simple, in your view?
It's constantly changing. It's being updated all the time. So as time is progressing and things change, it is. Because if you think about it, you were just saying about electronic devices and the way that things have changed. So it has to be updated continuously.
We live in a digital world as well. That has to be taken into account.
Yeah.
Okay, no, thank you very much. And thanks for your patience that lasted the whole weekend. You came back today. That's Susan Walls, Insurance Technical Advisor from SAIA, which is a representative of the association that represents the short-term industry today. So basically, common sense, really get to read that policy schedule. If you can afford to have short-term insurance, you need to make sure that you are aware of what's excluded in this world, in these times of load shedding. But